Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to welcome everyone to our meeting. 41 days until the deadline for the response to the data collection. So first of all, I want to thank you all for your efforts. This has been a 2-year process, and this morning, many of us participated in the Ventura County Complete Count Committee. And I know Dr. Aguirre will be joining us so he can give us some updates on some of the items that were discussed. But I want to welcome you to our subcommittee meeting, our new time from 10:30 to 11:30. We'll try to honor the time because I know you are all very busy people. And so in the chat, we have our agenda posted. Let's start with the approval of the July 16, 2020 minutes. And Luis sent those out in advance so that you could review if there's any questions or comments. If there's none, then if I can get a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Stan. Can I get a second on that?
Second. Yeah.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, great. Thank you so much. And thank you, Luis, for that was the transition from my assistant Yolanda to Luis this past month, and he did a great job on documenting our conversation from our last meeting. So we're going to go ahead and start with our updates. And as I mentioned, we had a complete count committee meeting just before this meeting. So I want to welcome Dr. Aguirre, and if he could provide us the latest census news update. And some of this might be repetitive from those for those of us that were on the meeting this morning, but it is valuable information as we quickly approach the September 30th deadline. Dr. Aguirre?
Just that we had about 60, 70 people on the call, which is, I thought was very good for a Zoom call. We provided a wide range of information, report from our program manager, State Program Manager, Patricia Vasquez Topete, that focused on SWORD reporting as being so important for data collection, not only for data collection, but for data analysis and planning and strategizing. She also talked about the final report, which is due on November the 15th. And for us at VCCF, the question is, you know, because we're working with 5 other counties in the region. So the question of format is very important. So we're going to be talking about what that looks like. She also mentioned that if any equipment has been bought with census funding, that needs to be inventoried, especially any equipment over $5,000. But she offered also that any tablets, computers, anything, cell phones that were used specifically for the census itself, they need to be inventoried, and then you just hold on to that equipment pending some further instruction from the state. So I suspect with the whole state, you know, purchasing equipment, I suspect and I hope that they will not want it back, that they will allow us to distribute here locally with CBOs and schools that need that kind of equipment. So anyway, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to do that. Then we had an update from the census representative, and they have a mobile questionnaire assistance service that they're initiating. So essentially what I understand that to be is that if you're having a gathering, like for example, food distribution, which we're focused on right now for getting information out to the hardest to count, that they could have a staff person that would be available for anybody that would want to fill out their questionnaire there on the spot. So there are some MQA sites already scheduled. So Ana Maria Lugo, who's our representative in this area from the Census Bureau, then was asked to share those locations, and then she also asked us if we want to invite them to come to some gatherings that we could work through her or work through some of our other local Census Bureau employees like Justine Fisher, for example. So, and then we talked about response rates. Right now, we have met and exceeded our response rate from 2010 census, which was 72.5. So we have exceeded that. So shout out to all of us that have been working on that. As Jack mentioned, there are 41 days left. So in the state, we are in 5th place. But when you look at who is above us, we're 0.5% from being in 2nd place, you know, and then there's, I think 2 or 3 percentage points more to 1st place. But anyway, so we're working hard to that. I provided, and then Matt provided information on response rates by in the various counties. Counties in our region, and then also in our various cities. So most of our cities are doing quite well. However, there are some tracts that are have very low response, 35, 37% response rates, which is about half the average for the rest of the county. So we're going to be focused on those low self-response census tracts in the next 41 days. So we talked about that. Then I shared some information on outreach. There's, of course, an air game and a ground game. The air game being, you know, non-contact outreach, social media postings, video distribution and postings, phone banking, et cetera, et cetera. And then the ground game kind of came to a complete halt almost when COVID came into the picture in mid-March. So most of our distribution of information and outreach that we're doing for the census outside of the air game is through food distribution centers. I also mentioned that that we have struck up an agreement with public health so that we incorporate COVID protection information and through our food distribution centers. And the model that we have developed here in Santa Paula and in South Oxnard through an organization that I work with is to set up a COVID census station before individuals who are lined up to pick up their food actually pick up their food. So it's kind of a way of forcing them, maybe force is too strong a word, but kind of requiring them to be exposed to this very important information. And then they pick up their food and they move on. So we also in those sites have a PA system where we're continually talking to folks that are lined up about the census and about COVID symptomology and how to protect yourself. And by protecting yourself, of course, protecting the community as well. So we talked about that kind of outreach. And then we talked about this personal protective equipment that we have received from the state. And this protective equipment is to be shared with the community so that we can lessen the spread of the pandemic throughout the county. So we have available 10,000 N95 respirators, 10,000 surgical masks, 5,000 face shield kits, 10,000 hand sanitizers, 8-ounce sanitizers, and then we have 20,000 gloves. And these are available at VCCF, and any of you that would want to pick up or need this equipment, again, is to share with the general community. So, so Food Share, for example, came by and picked up some of that material yesterday, and I invited all the other community-based organizations to come forth. I look at Jack and CDR, and I can think of if you need, like, for example, face shields for your staff, and of course, as you're working with parents and children, you could be distributing free face masks to them, et cetera, hand sanitizer, et cetera. So we expect that the demand for this equipment will be strong. So it's kind of first come, first serve. The other thing that we have available is we have a couple of 100 t-shirts that are available for distribution, primarily with members of the Complete Count Committee, but certainly other community-based organization partners that we're working with. So the shirt itself, I think, Lauren, you're wearing one. Yes, there it is. You know, it's a beautiful color, and the design is a little bit abstract, but it's the census, right? And this was a design that was suggested by an artist in the Avenue area. Her name's MB. And so we have these T-shirts available. In fact, we also talked about a caravan this Saturday meeting and starting out in Thousand Oaks at, as I understand, Brim Hall Library on Jans. And then from there, we're going to do a 131-mile trek through most of the cities in Ventura County, trying to bring attention to the fact that the census is happening right now, and we want people to act now, not wait till September the 30th to do this. So I think that kind of covered it, Jack.
Thank you, Gabino. Gabino, also there, you sent out an email regarding a meeting tomorrow for the SWORD activity report, a new format. Do you want to touch on that briefly at all?
Yeah. It turned out that that they found a glitch in the old version, and through their technicians, they were able to work with the SWORD reports that had been turned in to salvage that information. But moving forward, they asked us to use this new survey instrument, this template, which I forwarded to our round 3 grantees. I had a training for them yesterday, and then our round 4 grantees, CDR being one of them, which we have a training tomorrow. And then I also, to our other partners that were in round 1 and round 2, I also sent them information on this. But this is, I'm asking that these SWORD reports be turned in every Friday. Of course, the data is used once we have it in the office, we upload it to the state, and then they have their analysts go through it, and then they give us feedback so that we can be more strategic and surgical about our outreach in the communities, especially the census tracts that have the lowest self-response, and those pockets of populations around the county that might not be in a particular census tract that's low self-response, but certainly a small pocket that we need to cover. The objective being, so to speak, let no stone be, don't leave any stones unturned, so to speak. So yeah, so we have training available for SWORD in general. So anybody that's interested in getting a training in that, we can, we're certainly going to do that.
Thank you, Gabino. And thank you for all your efforts this past 2 years, along with Vanessa and Rigo and all of the key leadership at BCCF.
Yeah, it's been great.
We really appreciate your efforts and leadership. So thank you for the update. I don't think
and then of course my man Joe's right there, our volunteer coordinator.
Let me ask if Joe, do you want to add anything to Gabino's report?
I'm sorry I came a little late here, but I don't know if Gabino, did you mention that we'll be there Monday and Tuesday from 9 to 12 for the?
No, thank you for. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, Gabino and myself will be at the VCCF on Monday and Tuesday between 9 and 12 to hand out some of that PPE stuff. So if you have anybody that needs any of those supplies, we will be there. Also for the T-shirts too. We have T-shirts there. I know some folks and also if anybody needs that they can't make it those days, I can also. I'm doing a Grubhub type delivery system for any census type material. So you can call it Joe Hub or whatever, but I'm delivering stuff out to the various partners or whatever they need, because I know a lot of them are working hard and it's tough to get away, and I'm trying to mitigate any of that kind of situation. So I've been doing that throughout this campaign. So
Yeah, and those T-shirts look especially good on superintendents and associate and assistant superintendents.
yeah, they do.
So,
Hey, Joe.
Scott and Ed, that's
Hey,
you.
Hey, Joe, thank you, Joe, for all of your support. We really appreciate it. And thank you for the information on the PPEs. And let's get our T-shirts out there. As that's a clear way of bringing people's awareness to the importance of the census. So let's get them while they're hot off the press.
That's it.
All right. Thank you both. I don't know, is Justine on the line?
I think they said that there was a big meeting this morning,
Yes.
Jack, and they was probably going to be most of the morning. I think that's why Anna Maria had to log off the other call early.
Yeah, they sounded fairly busy this morning. Thank you, Heather, for the reminder.
Yeah.
So with that, why don't we turn it over to Lauren, who's going to give us an update on a recent census and PPE distribution and some upcoming ones as well. Lauren, good to see you, Lauren. Nice shirt.
Thank you. I was able to swing by VCCF and pick up a bunch of these shirts and give them to our staff and volunteers who hosted a event on Monday afternoon and evening where we invited local childcare providers to come and pick up a box, about this big full of cleaning supplies. So it had soap and disinfectant, masks, thermometers, and then they also were able to pick up diapers. And the first thing that they got when they walked up was a bag that had census information. So we had our We Count census books, we had flyers, we had buttons and stickers for the kids, all kinds of stuff in there so that they were able to take that with them as well. So we hosted that for about 100 childcare providers on Monday in Ventura. And then on Saturday, we're having it in Oxnard at CDR. And then a week from that, we're doing one in Moore Park. And I think we have closer to 150 registered for this Saturday. And then the Moore Park numbers are a little low, only about 40. So we're hoping we can do a little bit more outreach out there. But we also noticed we had people from Thousand Oaks, Moore Park, Camarillo driving to Ventura for that first one. So that might be part of the reason those Moore Park numbers are low. But it went really well. I think that having these T-shirts on, it made the event a little bit easier because everybody could really tell who was working there and knew who to ask questions from. And then it also opened up those conversations about the census. So we're going to do that 2 more times. The only thing is that it's only for childcare providers. So we're not open to parents just showing up. It's something that people are pre-registering for. So we're not promoting it on social media or anything. It's just going out through some newsletters that go directly to childcare providers. But I think it's working well, and I'm hoping that then the providers are going back and talking to parents about the census and giving them those books and continuing to spread the word.
And just to follow up on Lauren, the distribution on Saturday at CDR, it'll be from 9 a.m. to about 1 p.m.
Yeah, and the same time in Moore Park the next Saturday.
Thank you, Lauren. Gabino, I'm thinking we would probably need to get out there to VCCF to get some shirts for the volunteers that are working for the CDR and First 5 distribution on Saturday. So I'll see if I can poll the volunteers and get shirt sizes and see if we can make arrangements to have some shirts picked up before the end of the day tomorrow.
Yeah, and just a heads up, Jack, they have size large, and then they have like double extra large, triple extra large, but they don't have single extra large.
They don't have single extra large?
Correct.
Yeah, there is no single extra large.
So large, double X, and triple X?
Small, medium, large, double X, double X large, triple X, and quadruple X. So for any of those that you can fit 3 people in those.
And you can just walk into VCCF and pick those up. That you don't have to go during the designated times, or you do?
Well, you can go. I just puts a. If you want to let me know or let one of us know that you're going to be there, that way we let Jessica know. If we're not there. Yeah, if you know who Jessica is, she can direct you to where, and you fill out, it's kind of a self-serving thing. You put your name and your organization and what sizes you're taking out. And
Okay.
so from
Yeah.
their
And,
boxes.
and to add to,
Like I said, we're going to be there Monday and Tuesday, so I know
Okay.
it won't help this weekend, but if somebody needs me to be there tomorrow, I can probably be there tomorrow
Okay.
sometime in the morning between 10 and 12.
Okay. I was going to try and swing by this morning, but if it's better to go during designated times, I'd rather do what's easiest for you guys.
Whatever works for you, or you can let me know. I have some shirts with me that I'm delivering, so I have a list. If you need 1 or 2 or 3, I can just bring them by your office too.
Okay.
That's a
yeah,
possibility.
and Jessica's not always available, Heather.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll try and set something up. Thank you.
Yeah, just set it up, and you can call me, Heather, and let me know when I can drop them by or how many.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Again, thank you, Lauren, for the update. Our next item is Dr. Aguirre on an update on the Census PDI phone banking outreach efforts.
Yes, right now, as you may know, PDI, Political Data Inc., is a piece of software that's typically used for getting out the vote around candidate and issues initiative campaigns. You know, and essentially they provide you a list of phone numbers or addresses to canvass or to call. So usually the high propensity voters. But anyway, they modified that platform for use with the census. So we have Census PDI available. Anybody who wants to help with our phone banking campaign, right now we're in the late summer outreach project, which ends on August the 30th. So, and then we'll go another round in September to finish it off. But anyway, the Census PDI, once you log in, you create an account, and I just need an email address from anybody who's interested. And I create an account, and then I make an assignment of an area to call. All of these areas are in the low self-response census tracts in Ventura County. So, and then there's a script that you follow. And as the individual answers the phone, depending on the responses, you're marking it on your smartphone, and this, your smartphone is automatically connected with a database at the state level. So all of those responses are being logged in at the state level for analysis and planning. So right now we have about 45 callers. Typically we assign 200 to 300 locations to call per individual, and we provide training on using Census PDI. So this is a call for anybody who might be interested in helping with phone banking. With 41 days left, we still have about 50,000 households to reach out to. And again, these are not only the hard to count, they're the hardest to count. So bilingualism is really something that is very important. But if you're not bilingual, don't be shy. You can jump in as well. So I'm asking, of course, yourselves to get the word out. And all you need to do is get them my contact information or Joe's contact info, and I will reach out to them, and so we can get them lined up.
Thank you, Gavino. On average, what does it typically take using the script? How much time on average do you estimate?
Yeah, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Originally, the script was, I want to ask you a few questions about the census, and then it took on kind of like a real kind of like marketing pitch. And you know, you may be guilty of this too, but sometimes when I have a robocall or somebody who I think is going to make a pitch, you know, I excuse myself, and sometimes I just hang up. So we appealed to the state. We changed the script so that now you start out with asking how the family is doing during these hard times, of course, related to COVID and the pandemic. And, you know, so you kind of, you express your concern for that individual and their family, and then once they're engaged, then you ask whether they've filled out the census or not. So yeah, it takes about 5 to 7 minutes per call, unless somebody says, I completed the census. So, and then you mark down that they completed the census. That's about a 15-second call.
Thank you, Gabino.
Yeah.
Next up on our is we got an exciting town hall meeting with our partners from Southwinds Neighborhood, and I'm going to turn it over to Luis Huereca.
Thanks, Jack. So we've been working really closely with Southwinds Neighborhood for the last few months, and so right now what we're doing tonight is we're doing a virtual town hall, and Carolina and Sophia, who lead the Southwinds Neighborhood Council, will be hosting the program tonight. I'll be kind of in the background, just kind of running things. And we have a couple of guest speakers. We have Ana Maria Lugo from the Census, who will be giving just an update on everything that's happening with the census. And then we'll switch over to, we have MyCop, who will also be talking about some of their work that they're doing in the community. We'll be providing this information not only in Spanish, but also in Mixteco, so that would be really nice. And then we have another speaker, Angeles Small from Logrando Bienestar. So she'll be just discussing a few things regarding safety and use of PPEs, and just kind of, making sure that signs to look for with families and kids, especially during this time of anxiety and stress. I know Carolina wanted to get that in there as part of the presentation as well. We also have a raffle, thanks to Carolina. So at the end, we'll be raffling off a few prizes from some of the local businesses. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. So we want to provide as much time as we possibly can to answer questions from anybody that is logging in tonight. The event is from 6 to 7. It'll be on the Southwinds Neighborhood Facebook page. So you can find them under Southwinds Neighborhood, or their actual handle is Southwinds @Southwinds42, and you'll see it there. It'll be through Zoom, but then it'll go over to be live streamed on Facebook, and that'll be it. It'll be an hour, 6 to 7, and if it goes well, we may do this with a couple of other neighborhoods, for the month of September. So that's a report. Thanks.
Thank you, Luis. Thanks for your creativity and partnership with Southwinds Neighborhood. And I think there's actually an added entertainment surprise tonight as well. So a very creative novela, I should say, just to kind of pique your interest.
Yeah, that's a partnership with Teatro de las Americas. Margaret Cortesi, who is leading that, they just opened up or moved into their new building here in downtown Oxnard on the corner of C and 6th Street. And so we used actually 3 other actors, one of them, which is Julio Alcala, who helped us out with creating some videos with CDR. And we wrote kind of a Spanish telenovela scene that Jack read the script, and it all focuses on the census. So it's very over the top and melodramatic, like any Spanish soap opera telenovela is. So it's a lot of fun. It'll kick off the meeting or the presentation. So we want to make it as fun and interactive as possible. And then we'll share that with everyone later. We'll post it on social media.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you. And I encourage everyone it is an hour, but it's going to be jam-packed with information and great speakers. And you definitely want to tune in for that telenovela. All right. Thank you, Luis. I'm going to ask Heather, my co-chair, to provide an update on City of Thousand Oak Library efforts and voting outreach. Heather?
Jack, before I do that, I just got an email from Justine saying that Anna and Justine are both on the call now, or they're both on our meeting now. So I'd like to defer to them, and we can catch up with me in a little bit.
Sure. Thank you, Heather.
Sure.
Welcome, Justine and Ana Maria.
Hi, can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Sorry we've missed the beginning of the call.
We're glad you're able to join. I know it's a busy morning for you both.
Yes, so I don't want to reiterate anything that's gone on ahead of us. So is it just that you would like some information? Because Anna was on the, I believe she was on the CCC call. Is that the kind of information that you're looking for, or what it is that you would like us to provide? And I'm sorry, we're just
That's
so,
okay. No, that's
it's very
okay.
scattering today.
That's okay. We fully understand. Gabino, Dr. Aguirre was able to provide a brief update from the meeting this morning. And of course, you can add on to that. Basically, he gave an update on the report by Ana Maria this morning. But we also were very interested to find out a little more of the details on the Census car caravan event that's planned for this Saturday.
So yeah, so because we had such a great car caravan in June and we covered half the county, in looking at the statistics that Anna and I get for places that may or may not be doing as well as we intended or the Census Bureau thought would happen, that's really happening a lot in the Eastern County. A lot of the places where we've all put so much of our effort and time are doing much better than projected. Oxnard's doing great, Santa Paula great, but some of the eastern part of the county and northern part of the county have a lot of areas that are underperforming per projection. So since we had so much success with the caravan that was in June, and we covered so much, we got such good bumps in the cities we visited. You know, we got over the course of time a good percentage, which is very, very good. And the CME caravan that they had a couple weeks ago bumped CME up a percentage point, which was fantastic. A couple of us decided, hey, we really need to do this last push. So we're having this countywide caravan on Saturday. It starts in Thousand Oaks. It travels all the way through to Ventura, up into Santa Paula, Moore Park, Fillmore, or Santa Paula, Fillmore, Moore Park, ending in Simi. Unfortunately, just because of time constraints and roads and all those things, we were unable to map out a way to get to Ojai and Westlake Village. So mostly because from Ojai, our problem is that we have some big trucks. Thanks so much to the CCC, we have that electronic billboard truck again, which is wonderful, but it has to be cautious on rural roads or curved roads. And then also we have the library van, which is awesome. Big thanks to Mayra for that. And some other vans and other things. So Ojai was kind of a difficult way to go. So the plan right now is for us to start from the library in Thousand Oaks, or actually the Global Senior Center, and they're right next door to each other, and drive through Thousand Oaks, then head down into Camarillo, who also has some underperforming areas, and then through that portion of the county up and over the 126, get to the 118, go through that area and see me. And so we're starting at 9:30 to decorate cars, super fast, right on your window, slap on a magnet and some flags, because those are the things we know stick. And then get on our drive. We're hoping to do a one pit stop for about 45 minutes to stretch legs, use restrooms, eat your bagged lunch at CDR, and then get back on the road, hopefully ending in Simi by 3 o'clock. Everybody, if you're interested in attending and driving right now, I think we have about a dozen or so cars. Please let me know and we can arrange that. While this is going on, this car caravan, we also have a mobile questionnaire assistance going on in Ventura and downtown in Ventura on the corner of California and Main Street. The point of that is to have Census people who are specifically trained and capable of assisting people with filling out their census will be there. So there's one on the western portion of the county in downtown Ventura from 10 to 2, and then there's one in Simi from 3 to 5 on 1st Street and LA Avenue, where the Vallarta Market is. It's not at Vallarta, but that's the big store that's right there in that area. It's actually at the dental office next door. So that is what's happening with the caravan. The other thing I want to mention and shout out is thanks to Luis for these great videos he's been making of local leaders that we've been sharing on social media. For Anna and I, we're working on more of these mobile questionnaire assistances, which we have through September 30th. So we're trying to schedule them either virtually or physically throughout the month. We have a little challenge with that. We don't have enough personnel to cover as many as we like, so we have to be really cautious with those. And then, as you may know, there are census takers are everywhere. They're out and about now, and there's an emailing campaign going on and from the Census Bureau, and also this with the enumerators out going on, taking all that information. We should hopefully have the county covered in the time allotted. And other than that, we're just trying to keep up the good work and get everyone counted. And thank you guys all for the incredible work you're doing, because seriously, we'd be nowhere if it wasn't for all of you folks, all of our partners out there spreading the good word. So anything else I can let you know about?
Thank you, Justine. Are there any questions for Justine and or Anna Maria? Anna Maria, is there anything you would like to add?
I would, although Justine always does such a great job. I don't even want to speak after her. I ditto, and I want to, also repeat that I am really appreciative of this group and our CCC in general. I am completely in awe of the coordination and the constant motivation, even though we're in a new fiscal year and in a different playing field than originally thought. What I would like to see, however, is utilizing us as much as possible in the next 4 weeks to do some virtual MQAs through the education system, in either enrolling or re-enrolling, students as they come back. And maybe we could do virtual MQAs in Spanish and in English and have a CRR available so that they can also assist them afterwards in completing their questionnaire. So this could be either by school district, it could be a general, County Office of Education MQA, some type of virtual, so that we can try to get as many people as possible and capture them during this time that, there's a lot of information going in with getting students, onboarded and back onto the learning process, but also as we have the ears of the parents, especially right now at the beginning of the school years. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ana Maria. And
oh, sorry, Jack.
Oh, go ahead.
I just had a question for Justine real quick. Have you been in contact with the Acorn or anything, Justine, or with anybody for publicity or promotion about Saturday?
So we're not designated to work with any media outlets. We do have a media specialist who's our designee for the media outlets. However, Natalie Hernandez has been did a press release, say for the caravan, that went out to her list yesterday, I believe, and I have that press release. But other than that, we're not really, I haven't done a lot of work. And I also know that, and am thankful that the Star and the Acorn have both, I believe, talked to Vanessa Bechtel, and she's done some pieces and information for them. And also a shout out to Andrea Gallagher at Senior Concerns, because she does a piece regularly for seniors, and she always does a good census shout out too.
Yeah, usually the Acorn will start tweeting about that, especially if you're looking for more cars and more participants. They'll start tweeting about that pretty fast. And
yeah, I want to, we are looking for, you know, participants. However, because we have alerted all of the law enforcement that we will be contained and follow all rules of the road and all those things. We are, you know, a good sized caravan. We need to be 25 cars or less. So don't want necessarily an all call. We still could have some people come out, but I don't want, it's not, you know, we're going to be good. We need to be good stewards. And so 25 is like kind of our max. So we do have some room for those in the CCC or say the Ed subgroup to join in, but we just can't say, hey, we're bringing 80 people. That'd be so awesome. Just then we need to do some permitting that we don't have time for. So yeah, but that would be great. But maybe we could get them to do something like tweeting while they saw us, or I don't know what. I'm putting honk if you've answered your census on my car now. That's my, that way I can maybe take a little gauge in my mind to see if anyone responds.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Justine or Ana Maria? Well, we also want to, on behalf of our committee, we want to thank you for, we couldn't have two better people to be collaborating with from the Census Bureau. So Justine and Ana Maria, we're side by side with you for the next 41 days to move us up on that county list. I'm still hopeful we can get San Mateo off, and we can become #1 in the state. So thank you for your partnership. We really appreciate both of you.
Thank you, Jack. And I will let you know that the reason why Northern California has pulled ahead of us better is because they were allowed to do these MQAs for the last 6 weeks, and we only got the go ahead to start doing them last Monday. So we got time to make up, but we're going to do it. We still have 41 days to get up into that top spot.
Well, if any of us can help you with that effort, we'll reach out to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Heather.
Sure.
You're up, Heather.
Before I talk to you all about that, I just want to thank everybody, because I know this has been 2 years and counting that we've all been together, and your patience and your perseverance. I mean, it's been quite the ride, to say the least, of all the changes. And I don't know of anybody that could have envisioned that we'd be having this experience with this census, but you have all been so flexible and so adaptable in this environment. And I can't thank you enough for all of your hard work. It's just been so encouraging and so incredible. And I really want to thank you all for that. With that, Luis and I talked a little bit earlier, I think it was about a week or 2 weeks ago, about sort of the next steps. And one of the things that we've been thinking about in the Thousand Oaks Library, at least, and I'm sure other libraries as well, because I know because Luis and I were talking about the Oxnard Library, is we've started to talk about, for the public and the community, when we're having the conversation with people about, you know, what is the importance of the census? Why do we fill it out? Beyond, you know, the money and everything that we can get as a county and as individual cities, but also the voting piece of it, you know, what it does for representation. And so some of the programming that we're coming up with now is really tied to that. You know, how do we get representatives in Washington and things like that? So just wanted to give you all a heads up that that's the next piece for us, is to work collaboratively with you all and with our other partners, that some of them who are not currently plugged in because they're not really so directly tied into the census, but to work together to talk about that next piece about not only the importance of voting, but the importance of how the census, the role of the census in getting the representation for everyone. So the libraries, as many of you, all of you know, that education piece that we kind of fit in there as, you know, that trusted partner where we give people a place to come together. That's kind of our next spot. So Luis and I are kind of collaborating on some programming that we'll be offering in the fall to make people aware, not just of the election coming up, but also that longer range piece that the census will be having an impact on. And I don't know if you wanted to talk any more about that, Luis, and how the work that you've been doing on that.
Just very briefly, with a lot of the census events that I've been to, or a lot of the webinars that are online, there is a discussion of that with kind of cross-promoting not only the importance of the census, but also just voter registration. And I know the libraries have played such a big part. The libraries, you know, here in Oxnard have been closed during this time. There is still pickup, just like there is in Thousand Oaks. But we were just, you and I were just discussing, again, ways that we could start to promote that with some of the census outreach that we're doing. Of course, being very careful, just very, you know, not very nonpartisan, and just reminding people the importance of registration. There's, you know, mail-in voting and all these other things. So much discussion going on right now that it can be a little confusing. So, but I've noticed a lot of groups are combining those two efforts, and at some point, you know, it'll take off even further after September 30th. So. But if anyone is interested, that would be great. I'm definitely going to reach out to Sophia over here at the Oxnard Library to see what they have planned, and then working also with Heather on this one. So that's it.
Hi guys, good morning. This is Nancy Schramm. I'm on the line too from Ventura County Libraries. I'm visiting you by phone today, but I want to let you know that we'd be happy to participate in that effort too. So please reach out to me as needed. And just a reminder as well that our Ventura County Library branches are making computers available by appointment right now for people who need to complete the census survey but don't have access to a computer. So if you are aware of anybody who needs access to a computer, have them call one of our 12 Ventura County libraries, and they can go online, vencolibrary.org, for more info. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, we have approximately 5 minutes, but I would like to just kind of open up to any members, subcommittee members who would like to share any information and or updates with the rest of the committee. So I'll just open it up to anyone who would like to give us an update. The floor is open.
I can give a brief update for the schools. Just before the start of the school year, we reached out to all of the school district superintendents as well as the school districts that have PIOs, reminding them that as they're re-engaging with their families and students, it would be a great time to include census information in those communications. And that can happen in a variety of ways with the parent notifications that, you know, you're all familiar with that come over phone and text and email. We also still have some paper flyers they can distribute, and of course their websites and social media. So we're just continuing to remind them about that. Of course, they're juggling a lot of balls right now, but we do want to keep the census to be sure it's on the radar. And then thanks, Luis, for the great video. We were glad to have Superintendent Mantooth as part of that. We've been sharing that on our social media as well.
Thank you, Dave.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Claudia from Community Action. So I just wanted to mention that last week I was passing out flyers and talking to people in our drive-through community market, and I estimate that about 50%, said they completed the census. They still took the flyer because our conversation then turned into, well, tell someone that you know hasn't completed the census to complete it. And they were very happy, and you can tell when we would say that, and they were like, I actually have someone in mind, like, oh, mi tía, oh, le voy a decir a mi vecino, things like that. So that's what our message is turning to. We're really excited. I love campaigns when it's like, you know, we're almost done, 40 days left, because it gets intense. And even though we have to social distance, you can come with community action. Let us know if anything that we can do to collaborate. We're doing what we can here with what we have, but you know, we can also collaborate. So it's exciting. I mean, I love campaigns. I love when we're almost done. Yeah.
Love your enthusiasm, Claudia. Thank you so much for and thank you for saying, hey, let's partner wherever we can. So thank you for your efforts.
I just had a quick update from there we go. Good morning, everybody. As you know, I'm with Vista Real Charter High School, and we're a year-round school. So as of August, we have started early August, we started our back to school night parent advisory committee meetings, and we've been presenting census information to our parents at every one of our meetings that we've held at nighttime. We have one more coming up next week, and we've also been able to send, I don't say good news, depending on how their kids did during this last semester. Report cards went out last week, and so we were also able to send out census flyers with those report cards. Thanks to Joe for delivering and dropping off those flyers at one of our sites. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Lorena. Okay, got 2 minutes. Anyone else want to share anything before we move to any announcements and our next meeting date?
Yeah, hola, es Claudia con Líderes Campesinas.
Hola, Claudia.
Bueno, nosotros estamos muy contentas, como mencionó Claudia Lozano. Hemos tenido muy buena respuesta por parte de Fillmore y Santa Paula, donde nos mencionan que ya se están haciendo contar, que están pasando la voz, y es comunidad donde ha sido tan difícil de llegar por el miedo. De hecho, a mí me han llegado llamadas donde me dicen, quieren asegurar que la información es válida, es verífica, que somos una organización y que ellos tienen confianza en hacerse contar. Esta campaña ha sido muy agradable para nosotros porque hemos podido alcanzar muchísima gente. De hecho, hemos estado trabajando también con la aplicación del PDI con el doctor Gavino. Seguimos tocando puertas, dejando flyers en las puertas, haciendo llamadas. Pero creo que no tengo ahorita el número de cómo vamos alcanzando a la comunidad, el último dato, pero estamos muy contentas por los resultados. De hecho, ayer distribuimos 1,200 flyers del censo a una compañía de trabajo. Y también necesitamos apoyo si algunas agencias tienen flyers que nos puedan dar. Déjenme saber, yo puedo ir por ellos. Ocupamos más material para distribuir. Sé que el doctor Gavino está muy dispuesto a darnos material, pero si hay más material que nos puedan dar, déjenme saber, yo voy por ellos, pero sí estamos urgidas de material.
Gracias, Claudia. I just wanted to really summarize. They've had great response. They focused in Fillmore and Santa Paula. They've done the PDI, phone banking, door-to-door canvassing. They also distribute over 1,200 flyers to a local employer. She's asking if any of us have flyers that we want to share with them. They'd be happy to distribute in their outreach efforts. And it's also been very gratifying to see the labors of their efforts having such positive results. She also asked about it be helpful to know how we're doing overall But I think one of the things is that we are ranked number 5 in the state of California, which is directly attributed to all of our efforts combined. But we still have, as Gabino mentioned earlier, 50,000 households and about 250,000 residents in Ventura County that need to complete their census. And many of those are in those very, very hard to count census tracts. So Claudia, thank you for all of your efforts and continue to be a partner with us through for over the next 41 days. So
Claro
thank you.
que sí. Algo más que olvidé mencionar es que estamos alcanzando en redes sociales, estamos haciendo teatros del censo virtuales en muñequitos animados, no sé cómo se dice en inglés. Entonces, estamos alcanzando todas las redes sociales. El mes pasado estuvimos alcanzando alrededor de 3,000 trabajadores agrícolas en el campo, en persona, dando materiales y haciendo pequeñas presentaciones. Así que estamos muy contentas de todo el trabajo que hemos podido lograr.
Gracias. They're also being very creative and doing mini teatros, and they did one recently to our essential workers in the fields, and they'll continue those efforts for the remainder of our census outreach campaign. So, Claudia, gracias. Anyone else before we move on to any brief announcements?
Yes, Jack, this is Gabino. Just a message for Claudia, who just spoke. Claudia, vi que quería ver si podía levantar algunos materiales ahí en la oficina mañana. Desafortunadamente yo no estoy en la oficina mañana, pero quizá Joe, si le llama yo usted a él. Sin embargo, allí voy a estar en la mañana el lunes y el martes de las 9:30 al mediodía.
Muy bien. Entonces, el
parece
martes
que con el trabajo que está... Ok, entonces ahí nos vemos.
Okay, thank you, Gabino.
All right.
Y gracias a Luis. Luis también me dice que tiene flyers en español. Muchísimas gracias.
All right.
Jack, just
Yes, Joe, go ahead, Joe.
Claudia, voy a estar en la oficina mañana para las 2 horas. Si quieres ir mañana a las 10 voy a estar ahí a las 10 por 2 horas.
Muy bien, yo lo busco entonces mañana. Gracias.
Okay. Gracias. De nada.
All right. So our next meeting will be September 17th via Zoom, and it most likely will be the same time, 10:30. Maybe 10 if we don't have any conflict. This morning, obviously, the CCC meeting was scheduled, so we pushed it back, and thank you for your flexibility this morning. But we're in the home stretch. Let's all remember what our primary mission is to get a complete and accurate count. And as Heather mentioned earlier, I really want to thank you all for your efforts, your partnership, and it's been such a pleasure working with you. Can't believe how quickly 2 years has gone by, but we really do appreciate everything that you're doing. And we're going to do a great job in this next 41 days and finish stronger than we started. So thank you all for your efforts. And we'll see you again on September 17th.
Gracias.
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 Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Y gracias a todos. Thank you, Jack.
Gracias, Gabino.